Happy Wednesday. It is February 18th, 2026. And today is a warmer day here in Ottawa. And the sun is out. It's still winter. It was a little bit icy today. I was out for a walk with my dog. And we're still, it's still that winter season, but it's that time of winter where you feel little glimpses of spring peeking through. Maybe not spring, but you feel, the days get warm, the sun feels warm, the temperatures are warming up, and it just sort of gives you that little, glimmer of what is to come. And I know you can just tell, you can just see people seem so happy when they're out. So recently I found this really, really pretty, I guess, I'm going to call it an urban forest where I'm living. I'm living in the suburbs, and I didn't grow up in the suburbs. I grew up downtown, very much inner city. And so, the suburbs maybe are not exactly the place that I would personally choose to live. But I'm here. And so I'm making the most of it. And I found this beautiful, beautiful spot that just brings me a lot of happiness when I'm there. So it's, so I spent some time there this morning, and it was really lovely. Today I wanted to just come on and say hello. It's been a while. I've been quite busy behind the scenes teaching a fair bit of online classes. And this is sort of newer to me, this idea of teaching online. But I've really, really enjoyed it. It's been a really great way to stay in touch with some of my former students from Nova Scotia and to connect with new people here. And it just gives me a bit of the flexibility of allowing me to work from home, something I used to do back in Nova Scotia, work from home, while still sort of having this creative work happening. So over the weekend, I taught a family workshop, and that was an idea that a friend had sort of given to me. I had sort of put a call out for feedback. What do people think about online? Is this something people enjoy? I don't know. And one person, a friend of mine, had suggested, hey, why not trying to do family workshops? And I did that. And of course, family can mean anything to many people. And so I had different groups of people coming on, but I loved it. I just absolutely loved it. And it was just a really great way to connect with people and to see them be creative together. So that was nice. That was on Family Day on Monday. We did a Tree of Life watercolor / drawing project. And again, I just really enjoyed seeing how people interpreted that. And, I often leave a lot of choice and ideas for people to do on their own. And so, I just really wanted to share that. A big passion of mine is teaching. So I was a high school art teacher. I was an early childhood educator. And I really, really just get so much, so much satisfaction and joy out of sharing creativity with other people, especially. And so, as much as I love to make art, and I do love making art, I also do really, really love teaching art and sharing it with others. And so part of this these YouTube videos are about that, is about just sharing creativity and hopefully inspiring other people to make and create and find purpose and joy through that. There's so much research, especially now coming out about the benefits of being creative. It's not just, hobby. It's not just for frivolous fun when you have the time. It's actually very beneficial to you, to us, to our mental health, to our nervous system. It does things that other things can't do. And I also find it's just such a great, great way to relieve stress and anxiety of just doing something with my hands. So right now I'm just doing something with my hands. Oftentimes when I paint, I like to lay down color first. And so this is what I'm doing. I'm kind of playing around with some colors and actually have a color palette in my mind that a friend would maybe like. I have a good friend and she has taught me a little bit about color for people, like color theory for people, matching the colors that maybe are skin tone and hair and eyes that look best. And so she shared a bit about that with me, and she talked about colors she really likes. And so I do have some of those colors in mind because I'm going to work on a card for her. But this is getting bigger than a card. It's growing. It's started to expand. So what I might do is I might leave this and let it dry, and then I would come back to it and add to it with more layers. So this is my first layer. It's watercolor. But it also has given me a bit of a, I guess, a little bit of a base and inspiration for what I will do for her card. So I'm going to cut this out because if I flipped it over, it would splatter everywhere. And, you know, obviously this is not going to be like a finished piece if I just cut it like that very roughly, but maybe it'll be inspiration, or maybe I'll cut it up for collage or something like that. And so now that I have a base idea for the color schemes that I want to work with, I think I'm going to start a very similar one that I just did, only this time I'm going to keep in mind that I want to keep it on a smaller scale. So same idea with some of these little pillows or clouds of color. I like to just play with sort of the saturation. Like I might come back with a clean wet brush and just push some of the color down, and also tap it a little bit to create a bit of a drip. But I don't want this to get too big. Really, actually, that should probably be my biggest little pillow because I want to keep it the size of a card. I'm going to be making a greeting card for this particular friend who I have in mind. And yeah, so I'm just sort of playing with colors in my palette. I'm using this very old palette today. I have had this specific palette for years. And it's something I come back to a fair bit. I love teal. Teal is my favorite color. This is teal. It's kind of a green and a blue mixed together. And I think I'll brush it up here, but keep it lighter. Like this is more saturated down here. So I wanted to just show this process of how I like to lay down color first and then come back to it after for adding maybe pen and ink or adding more layers of watercolor, like a darker line, some line work. I'm going to let that blend into each other so it's kind of expanding. And I think I'm just going to come in with a bit of yellow to kind of like brighten it up. And I'm just going to put those in a few like spots, like pop of color, a little pop to make it. Yeah. I almost think that that might be enough for a card if I want to kind of keep it small. I don't want to overdo this. It's going to be small. I feel like the green is a bit oversaturated here. And I have plans to sort of do some other layering work after. So what I'm going in was with a dry watercolor brush. I'm just soaking up some of that extra paint. And just because I know that I want to add a little bit more to this after. And I think I'm going to add just a few little, it's okay. Like when I play around with watercolor, I am very much breaking all the rules. So I know a lot of people would be like, what is going on here? If you're a traditional watercolor painter. But I am a playful watercolor painter. I like to play. It's really, really enjoyable for me to play around. And I don't think I would enjoy watercolors if I put a lot of rigid rules around how things had to be. If you see some traditional watercolor painters, I mean, it's amazing what they can do with thin layers and transparency and building it up. And, you know, it's a beautiful medium, but it can be very tricky. And for me, I'm quite type B, like I just like to break the rules and I like to play. So for me, you're not going to find a lot of very tight, rigid watercolor painting. I might do that more with a drawing, and I might do it more with acrylic paint. But when it comes to watercolor paint, this is not where I go for realism or perfection. Okay, just covering that part up. I got some paint splatters and I wasn't thrilled with it. Okay, there we go. So I think I would let this dry. This is where I may start to look at it and go, okay, like it could use a little bit more, just a little bit more depth. So I might just come in and drop some more color in here. Kind of like that layered look, and playing with wet on wet right now, like in a refined way. I wouldn't mind for this kind of purple. There we go. Yeah, just really wanted that connection there. Okay, I'm happy with this. I'm not going to do anything more. I'd like it to dry. So now, maybe I'll come back to this later. I would like to add some things like a metallic paint to it. I might do that real quick, actually. This is a rose gold paint from Beam Paints. So I'm just going to kind of come in a few little areas where I think it will look pretty. It just adds a really pretty kind of magical aspect, I think. Okay. And again, maybe a few more paint splatters. I wouldn't mind like there we go. Maybe even like a blob of it. Yeah. Yes. Yes, that was what I needed. Okay. I'm going to leave that. Definitely leaving it. And I am going to pull out my sketchbook now to show a few things that I've been working on. Okay, so this is my very, very beaten up sketchbook. And my goal is to finish it, and I'm slowly getting there. The sketchbook has been with me for, I think it would be 2 years this summer. Yeah, here's a ticket from 2024, so to the art gallery. So if I can complete this by this summer. It would have taken me 2 years. And, you know, I'm ready to move on. I'm really ready to move on. But I'm going to skip ahead. I think I'll do like a proper tour. Recently, things that I've worked on. So I think I left off with my IKEA sketch. And I think I did show how I did this. I did some Asian pears. I think I may have already introduced this, so I'm going to move along. I'm not thrilled with that. It's okay. I'm not thrilled with this either, but I really wanted to do a pigeon. I think I may have introduced this one already, but if not, it's actually the forest that I was talking about at the beginning of today's video. And I did actually, in fact, see a person walking by with this little red jacket and red hat, and I snapped a picture, and then I came home and I completed this kind of what we call a spread. So it's over 2 pages. And I'm just playing with a reference photo. So here again is obviously something more realistic. I looked at a reference photo online, and I was trying to be more technical with my drawing. And similarly, this one too. This one is obviously less about technique, or less about technical and more about sort of the fun feeling. So lots of paint drips, layers. I worked with Posca paint pens for this one and pencil crayons. So that was really fun. Here's a sketch at a cabin I went to not long ago with my husband. It was really pretty, a little winter cabin getaway. Again, this was just about filling in a page. Quick, easy. I really want to get this sketchbook finished. And again, like this page is empty, so it feels like it could use something, maybe a collage. I was working on a sample for a teen class that I do. And then another really fun, fast spread. And this is a recent from a coffee I went to with a friend. Not thrilled with it. I think I might try to finish it off a little bit. Maybe paint pens would make it fun. And this is sort of my most recent one. So this is like a longer spread this way. But the goal really is to finish this sketchbook. And I just have a few, like such a small amount. It's a good challenge to work and, you know, to work through and try to finish something. I just think like it gives you a sense of a journey, actually, if you really think about it. A journey towards a collection of ideas, or a collection, like a journey through time as an artist. This will actually be, believe it or not, probably my first sketchbook I ever complete, like from beginning to end. I've always sort of abandoned my sketchbooks and let them go if I don't love them. But I have really been inspired by other artists, and especially on YouTube, where they do some beautiful sketchbook tours. And I just feel like working in this one book over these last 2 years, almost 2 years, has really helped me to push myself forward, has helped me to become more observant and just to work through ideas, even if they're not great, or practice observational drawing. As you can see from before, when I was doing my watercolor, I do a lot of sort of abstract or very minimally representative work. A lot of it is very playful, very intuitive, and I love it. But I also do think there's benefit in keeping my skills, my observational skills sharp. And I'm not a really great technical artist when it comes to my observational work. It just is a fact. It's like I'm very loose with my style, and I'm very fast with my work, I guess, when it comes to that, to sketching. But I do want to stay sharp. I still want to practice those skills. And sketching is a skill that you have to keep up, just as you would with anything that you are trying to improve at. If you're trying to improve at playing the guitar, you're not going to get any better unless you practice. And same with running. You know, you're not going to get to your next level with your goals if you don't keep running. But same with drawing. It's not just something that happens magically. It's a skill that needs to be practiced and a skill that you need to work at. And honestly, I've let some of that go over the years. Being a mom to 3 kids for many years, I put down my art and, you know, I would come to it, but I wouldn't say I was practicing daily. I was practicing in spurts, and that's okay. That's okay. But right now I'm just at this like part of my life where I have more time for myself, and I want to share, like through teaching and workshops and things like that. I want to share that skill. So it's important for me to also hone in on those skills and improve. So do I like this sketch? No, actually, I really don't like it at all. I'm trying to like it. I'm trying to be kind. But more importantly, I just want it. I want to do it. I just want to finish it. Here we go with a drip. Maybe I'll get a nice old drip happening. Yeah. So interesting, right? It's just interesting to see how styles evolve, how ideas get better. This here would probably be my 3rd coffee shop sketch for 2026. I've challenged myself that when I go out to a coffee shop, even if I have a friend with me, I bring my sketchbook and I do a really quick sketch. I lay down the framework, and then I'll often take a photo on my phone, and then I will finish it later. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm finishing this. As I mentioned, I'm going to let a drip come down. Sorry. Just playing with these paint pens. Posca paint pens are really kind of a fun medium. So I'm challenging myself to bring my sketchbook when I go out for coffee. It's about being very present. It's really easy. I've done a lot of photography over the years. It's really easy to grab a picture of something. We take so many photos on our phones. Well, I know I do. I've cut back, but we don't necessarily stop and look, just really truly look at things. It's like so easy to have a phone in your hand, and grab a picture. But it's not easy to pull out a piece of paper or a sketchbook or a paper and a pencil and start really looking at what you see. So for me, that's my challenge. And my challenge for my sketchbook is not to have perfection. I've seen some gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous sketchbooks, and each page is just another beautiful treat. And maybe my next one, because my goal is to finish this one, maybe my next sketchbook will be like that. Maybe I'll have, a lot more intentional practice, or maybe I won't. Because honestly, trying to do what somebody else does never works. We know that. There's a saying, and it really, really has stuck with me over the years as an artist, and I don't know who did it, so maybe I'll find who quoted it, but the quote is, "Comparison is the thief of joy." And if you're always comparing yourself to somebody else and somebody else's art and somebody else's practice, you will never enjoy your own practice or your own style or your own ideas, because you're just comparing yourself to somebody else. And that's really stuck with me over the years, that if I'm comparing myself and competing, then I'm really not creating authentically. And, at the end of the day, I don't love this at all, but that's okay. I'm really okay with that. I mean, I really try to say that to people too when I'm doing these art workshops. Like, if you don't love this, that's okay. The point is not always to have this beautiful finished piece. The point is to get, to improve, yes, but also, like, this can be a stepping stone or a jumping point, I can go, you know what, that didn't look good. And next time I go to this coffee shop, which was a really cute one, by the way, I'm going to really focus on something else. Or, enough with the coffee, because I keep sketching coffee when I go to a coffee shop. Maybe my next goal next time is to, maybe the goal next time is to look at a different part of a coffee shop. Don't just do the most obvious thing, which is a cup of coffee. Or in this case, it was a rose latte. It was delicious. It was like a rose. It was a sakura. I'm probably saying that very wrong. Sakura tea. And it was made into a latte. And then they put rose petals on top. And it was so yummy. It tasted like a dried rose would taste, but it was sweet. And it was creamy. I think I had it with oat milk. It was so good. So here we go. I think I'm just going to kind of really play with this sketch because, as I said, it's okay if you don't love something. I'm going to play with this until it's enough, until I've done enough with it. I'm not loving this big blue area. Think about that. And yeah, so I've been talking a lot today, and I guess some of the points I wanted to say were just allowing yourself to keep practicing, allowing yourself to play. I think play is so important, especially with art. Letting go of the idea that everything needs to be a perfect product, and that there is a lot of benefit in the process. It's not just about the end results. Yeah. So I'm going to continue on this, and I'm going to get it to a fun place where I'm okay with it. And I'm going to continue to challenge myself to get this sketchbook complete. And I will see you, if you're still here, thanks for joining me. I will see you again on another video. And I hope that today you found something inspiring. And I hope that, these videos inspire you to at least just try playing around. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll be in touch soon. There's the bottom part. I haven't shown the bottom part very much, have I? Yeah, I really gotta get this figured out. No rush. It's just for fun. Have a great day. Bye.